This video is going to demonstrate the proper installation procedure for a Climax KLD Series C733 standard duty shrink disc. Note that it will also be applicable to our C732 heavy duty, C731 light duty, as well as our C600 rigid keyless couplings. Note that these locking devices are shipped from the factory wrapped in anti-corrosion paper, which prevents oxidation both in transit and storage, and they are ready for installation. All shrink discs and C600 couplings require that the shaft be solvent cleaned and dried. In the event of a shrink disc, I have a solid shaft here, but realize that there will be a hollow shaft with a driven male shaft inside there. The interface between the hollow shaft and the shaft must be solvent cleaned and dried to achieve a coefficient of friction 0.15. Okay, loosening the locking screws, the shrink disc will be placed around the hollow shaft, positioned into place, and at that point we are going to finger tighten all of the screws. Now, it is important at this point in time, before tightening any of these screws, that you look at the gap between the two outer rings. And it's important that they are straight and parallel when we start, because once we start, we want them to pull down evenly, and at the end, we want them to be parallel as well. So while eyeballing this, I am finger tightening these screws. And I am at my starting point. Instead of starting with a torque wrench, I'm going to use a ratchet wrench just for convenience. And I am going to pick a starting screw at 12 o'clock here, and I am going to make quarter turn passes at each of these screws, working around the shrink disc sequentially. Okay, after making several passes with my ratchet wrench, I'm going to switch over to my torque wrench, which has been preset to 105% of the specified tightening torque, which can be found in the catalog, on the Climax Metal website, on the label, on the box itself, as well as the installation instructions. So with the wrench set at 105%, I'm going to pick up where I left off, and I'm going to continue making my passes until such time as the wrench clicks. The wrench now, the last three screws have clicked. At this point, I'm going to make two more complete passes around the shrink disc, hitting each screw twice at the 105% over torque. Okay, after completing my two passes at the 105% over torque, I'm going to take the wrench and I'm going to set it down to the specified tightening torque, and I'm going to check that each screw is at the specified tightening torque. In this case, it is. In the event that I get any movement of the wrench at this point, what I'm going to do is set it back up to the 105% over torque, make one or two more passes, set it once again back down to the specified tightening torque, and just check to ensure that they're all there. At that point, the shrink disc is fully installed. If you have any questions or problems with removing any Climax KLD, contact our KLD application engineers who will be more than happy to assist with the tips and tricks of removing these units.